Welcome back to Love, Hope, and Faith, and I'm here today with my second guest, Robin Pepper. Hi, Robin.
Hi.
My friend
Good to see
Robin.
you.
So good to see you. I've been wanting to get you on for a long time, so thank you. I know this may be a little bit out of your comfort zone.
Totally out of my comfort zone.
We'll just get that right out of the way. But your husband, Steve, has been on a couple of times, and let me just share kind of who you are a little bit, and then we'll talk about your life story and your ministry. But you are a co-ministry leader with your husband at Celebrate Recovery, which is how we met, and down in Natomas, right?
Right.
Plus, you guys, within this past year, or has it been a couple of years now with the jail ministry?
It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Going on 2 years.
Yeah.
I believe.
So you guys do Celebrate Recovery inside,
Yes.
which well, not really inside because that's more for the prison, but you do it inside the jails, and so that's wonderful. It's just amazing what you guys do. I want to hear more about that today.
Okay.
But first of all, I want to find out your testimony. Tell us about. I know you've had some challenges that have part of your story and what you've overcome. So tell us about that.
Well, so where do you want me to start? I mean,
kind of from as a kid, you know. Let's take it way back.
Way back. Okay. So, well, I have a colorful childhood.
Yeah.
I was somewhat of a rebel. I had some challenges with. I came from a fatherless home, and that was very challenging for me.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why my mom would not provide a father for me, and so I started really acting out. And it was in 1976 that I ran away for the first time.
And how old were you?
I was 12.
Okay, wow. I have a 13-year-old, so I try to imagine her running away at 12.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And this was in Southern California, and really that kind of started my path to just kind of running from everything. I spent most of my teenage life running away, lots of foster homes, lots of group homes, lots of people that wanted to be like my foster parents. And I had a probation officer because in those days it was like illegal to run away. So I had this probation officer that really kind of looked after me. And so when I would get scared, I would call her and she would take me to juvenile hall. I lost track with my mom at some point. She had moved. And
So how long were you on the streets?
pretty much from 13 to 18.
Wow. So, okay, so if you don't mind, if you don't want to talk about this, it's okay. I was just wondering when you said the foster families, I'm sure you had a lot of good experiences.
I actually, most of my experiences were really good.
Okay, good, okay.
I really wanted to be a part of a family. I didn't know how to be a part of a family.
Yeah.
I wanted that love and that normalcy, of a family. And my idea was the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I grew up with the Brady Bunch, and so as you can imagine, that's really a hard...
That's a standard that doesn't really...
yeah.
To live up to that.
Right. And so as soon as my foster family would set any kind of boundaries with me or rules, I would run. And so I had really a reputation of being a runner. And so of course I didn't go past really 8th grade.
Okay, wow.
The miracle in all that, and looking back, is because you said some of my experiences being good. This was at a time where, and I don't know if anybody up here knows, but the Hillside Strangler in Southern California was running rampant and taking runaways. And of course, being a teenager, I was invincible in my own mind. So I would hitchhike all over the place and just really reckless.
Wow.
And I've never been hurt.
That's God's grace.
Yes. Yes. So,
Yeah.
from my foster families to just people that picked me up on the side of the road, God kept me really protected.
Absolutely. And did you know God back then?
My mom tells a story. She thought I'd grow up to be a missionary.
Okay.
Because I was deeming the whole first grade to hell if they didn't change their ways.
Preach it, girl.
I was very modest, so I wouldn't my knees couldn't show, and and I was the very modest one. I was the very conservative one in my family. So I kind of remember like knowing about God.
Yeah.
And I remember I was really worried that because my mom smoked cigarettes and different things like that, I was really worried that she would go to hell. But I don't think beyond a childlike faith.
Some of it was more fear-based, right? I mean, like...
I think it was just what I heard from, like, school and stuff. I don't know, because we weren't a church-going family.
Yeah.
My mom did let me go with friends, periodically, so I think that's probably where I learned Sunday school songs. And
So how did you eat, and where did you sleep, and all those? What did you do during those times?
People were very gracious to me. There were times where I did not have a place to stay, or I did not have food to eat, so I could buy a dozen donut holes for $1.
Okay.
I'm sorry, for $0.25.
For $0.25.
And I would stay in a donut shop all night long.
Wow.
Or in those days, laundromats were open all night long as well. So I could stay warm.
You could stay warm, that's right, yeah.
And in Southern California, it's like, you're not going to freeze anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's a whole world of people living on the streets. I guess you just network and make relationships, I'm assuming, and just... each day you just kind of live in the moment of what that day holds, and...
I never fell victim to prostitution, although I saw it around me.
Yeah.
I never, like I said, I was never hurt. I was never molested.
Wow.
I really kind of came out of it unscathed.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so you didn't finish, so you didn't go to high school? No. And so now you have your master's degree.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. I know, that's awesome. I want to hear more about it. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but okay, so how did you, so then you said you were homeless basically from 13 to 18, or on the streets at least from 13 to 18. Yeah. So what happened at 18?
Well, actually, I think it was closer, what I can remember, there's lots of blank spots. What I remember is finding my mom in Sacramento. I hired a private detective to find her.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I found
her in Sacramento. So were you working at this time?
Was I working? I don't know if I was working. I believe I must have been working because I had a car and, you know.
Yeah.
I think I was probably working in retail.
Okay.
And actually I was working in retail. I could get jobs like nobody's business. It was amazing.
Yeah. Again, God's grace. Plus you're a people
Either that or I was a good manipulator.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of learned to talk my way,
You must have. You have to survive on the streets. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I found my mom, and I was so nervous because I just love my mom, and I just wanted her to be proud of me. And so I was so nervous. The detective gave me her address, and so I had this friend of mine go up to the door, and he went up and kind of made that transition for me. And my mom welcomed me. My sister was my sister and I had always been very close, and she was a little bit like standoffish. She had some anger.
Was she older or younger?
Younger. Feeling like I had left her and stuff.
Yeah.
My sister now is like one of my best friends.
You worked through that. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
So it was at that time though that I had met with a pastor. And just in my travels, and from Calvary Chapel actually, and he had told me that Jesus had delivered him from jail and from death and from drug addiction. Because at that point I had developed pretty much a good drug addiction.
Okay, yeah.
And so he invited me to a Billy Graham crusade. So that's where I prayed the sinner's prayer and just felt so alive and so full of hope.
And this is after you met your mom?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about your mom and your sister? Did they join you in that?
No. It's kind of a topic that we just really dance around.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't know this, but I pray for them all the time. So.
Yeah. Well, we all do for our loved ones because we want our loved ones to be where we are. Yeah, in the Lord. Absolutely. We have a couple of minutes left before we go to our first break, but I wanted to just find out what it was like. Was there a moment? I mean, how did you, when you said the sinner's prayer, did you immediately sense the presence of God?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Well, I mean, when you're with thousands of you know, spirit-filled people too, it's kind of hard to not feel the presence of God.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely, absolutely. And did your life change immediately?
No.
Okay.
No. It was definitely. I say that I kind of turned away, but I don't think I turned away. I just don't think I really knew another way, and a lack of discipleship and a lack of just being taught what it means to grow in the Lord and to die to self. And I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, you get saved by the prayer and the belief, but then what? There has to be someone that comes alongside you, disciples you, mentors you in the faith. That's so important. I'm so blessed. I had that. I didn't realize. I thought that's what you did. I thought that's what all Christians did. They become a believer and then they get discipled. And now I'm learning, you know, as I walk through my faith, that there's a lot of people that can relate to your story. It's a rarity. Exactly. So I'm very blessed. But so then, when did you? You know, how did your life then change? How did you become discipled? Did someone come alongside you, or what was the defining point?
My daughter, I had a daughter out of wedlock, and she was 14 months old and needed surgery. And at that point, it seems like I think it had to have been God, but her father and I were doing drugs as she was having surgery. Oh my gosh. And something at that moment, I just felt despicable.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was an important thing. Before you do that, though, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Love, hope, and faith with Heather.